Hi, me again. This one's actually going to cover two at once. I actually had people of two separate religions asking me, how I can claim to love America and yet hate people of particular religions. Let me go ahead and clear that up real quick. This is so easy. I can do two at once. You ready? I'm going to have to throw a kicker on one because of one of the religions, but here's the deal. One of the key things that I signed up for when I joined the Army was I wanted to protect the First Amendment. The First Amendment specifically, but yeah, I like that freedom thing. And basically, I support anyone's right to choose any spiritual path that they want. But I have the right to say I don't believe you. That's it. That's all. Now, if you can proselytize about how God is great and God is good, I can proselytize that God is your imaginary friend. Now, that doesn't make me any more right than you spiritually. A lot of people who don't know me don't think that I'm very spiritual, and the people who do know me know that I am. Here's the deal. You really don't get to think about yourself objectively a lot. And when I say you, I mean me and everybody else. We have to fight to think of ourselves outside of ourselves to really see what our behaviors really do and really mean. Um, right now, I'd like to point out the fact that there are some problems that I have with both the Christian church and the Scientology church. And I'll do Scientology first because it's simple. I don't respect Scientology. And that's okay because I don't have to respect a religion. I just have to respect your right to choose it. Okay? You have that right. Why you would is beyond me. But Scientology in particular has stated unequivocally that psychology is evil. Um, I didn't get into psychology for evil reasons. I don't use it for evil. I did it to ease the suffering of everyone else. And to directly compare me to the Nazis, which ironically is the group of people who destroyed half of my family. Um, yeah, I'm gonna buck back on you on that. Now, do I agree with Anonymous? Not the people who asked the question here, but Anonymous, the group who was actually picketing the Scientology churches. Yeah, no, I don't. I really don't. I think it's a cute concept, and I think if they would have kept it to YouTube videos, I think it would have been fine. Um, I really don't like it when people start protesting someone else's religion. That's a serious spiritual choice, and I like the one where Anonymous did something here in Richmond where they just calmly sat across the street from the church with their issues written on a placard and were calm about it. And it was peaceful and everything was hunky dory. Yay. I've seen some cases where people will hoard outside of a Scientology building and yell and scream at people when they're going in or coming out. You know what? That's rude. That's rude, it's disrespectful, and it's not okay just because they're not in the mainstream. Well, I think they're a cult. Well, you know what? I think yours is a cult. And if anyone has a real question about it, let's break it down. This is my problem with Christianity. Christianity is trying to step foot into the scientific realm in some areas. Teaching creationism in school, yeah, I thought we got that all out of our system with Inherit the Wind. If you want to debate your way into science, then you're going to have to change your game to match the scientific thing because opinion and faith are not good in science. They're actually liabilities, and they're liabilities that you would have to overcome. If you want to bust into empirical evidence, come to the table, sit down, and we'll talk. If not, we're going to throw food at you. It's just the way it is. Uh, but yeah, the I also have a problem with the war on Christmas because there is no war on Christmas. There's just other people with holidays around the same time. And before you get too jack nasty about it, I'd just like to remind everyone Santa is an elf. The pine tree is a symbol of a pagan observance about it being an evergreen and surviving the winter and it doesn't change and we can be like that Yeah, if you go before the 15th century, I believe it was. Yeah, the church actually hated the concept of Christmas because, well, it was silly and it was jocular and it's not what we're supposed to be doing. Does that make, anyone's Christmas celebration invalid? No. No. Oh, well, Kwanzaa was developed recently. That's not a real holiday. Who are you to say that? If it gives anyone a moment of happiness in this life, who the fuck are you to try to take that away? Um, this world is all about getting what level of comfort you can. And no, I wouldn't deprive anyone of their religious views. However, I don't like certain aspects of it, and I can say that because of the same First Amendment. I can say I don't think it's right to indoctrinate children into a religion just because the parents happen to be that religion. I can say that because I grew up Southern Baptist, and I was almost in my teens before I found out that any of this was even in question. Um, and for that reason, there is a little bit of a resentment there for me. I'm afraid of appearing ignorant. Now, by ignorant, I don't mean stupid, I mean ignoring facts. Um, it's something that's just not for me. I couldn't validate that. I know people who can. More power to them. I am just so enthralled by the beauty of the universe that I don't need anything else. I don't need it to circle around me. And I'm aware that a lot of Christians feel the same way. Uh, but to be honest, if someone put up a Christian billboard, I really doubt that it would make nationwide news. I believe in the freedom of religion wholeheartedly, but I believe in the freedom of everybody's religion. I know people right now who would like to tear apart anything talking about the war on Christmas, not the least of which are Muslims. I would hate to be Muslim in this time period. I would just really be afraid to be because, well, I've known people who are Muslim and Americans, and they've been beaten with their own flag. I I know people who, actually listen to what we're saying and have pieced it together, and it's basically saying, well, Obama's a Muslim. Well, he's not, but let's say he was. Who cares? I mean, is it that important? I mean, are we now saying to every Muslim child, you will never have a position of power in this country because we don't trust you? Okay, that makes you a bigot. Okay? Now, I also really don't like it when the term godless comes into play as an insult because I'm really sorry for needing proof on things. There are things that I do recognize. I recognize nature. I recognize science. And the beauty of that is both of these really don't have an opinion of you. If you don't accept science, don't. Don't. It's an intellectual process. Turn that section of your brain off and shut the fuck up. But don't start telling us how to teach it. That's about the extent of it. There's no hate. There's a bit of there's a bit of resentment, but there's no hate. And to be honest, I don't really want to quash any religion. I really wish people would either separate their spirituality from what we know, um, knowledge versus faith. I view it almost as a give unto Caesar what is Caesar type thing. I know Jesus was talking about taxes at that point, but still, it's facts, and it's things that are provable, and in most cases proven. It's something that if you follow that, you're making a decision not just for yourself, but the way things are set up, you're making that decision for your children, and that's something that's really really chancy. Um, One last detail. I have never heard ever in my life a statement more beautiful than I practice a private spirituality. That's a gorgeous thing. Or I have a personal relationship with God. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That completely bypasses everything. Every problem that I have with any kind of religion is based on organized religion. Now, if you have a personal relationship or you have a private spirituality, you have a direct line. You're doing good. You have that self-defined. You've got something that works for you. And you know what? That's great. Just don't let anyone tell you what's right and wrong. Um, and if this seems confusing, that I would actually support things that I don't philosophically agree with, um, yeah, you have to take into account when people showed up and started rounding up gypsies and Jews. They no one cared. It was like, okay, well, it's them. Fuck them. Eventually they'll get around to you. It'll stop being Christians only. Then it'll be screw the Methodists. Then it'll be, oh, well, these people aren't holy enough. Oh, these people aren't enough. So, yeah, it's really a situation where I will respect the fact that religion works for other people, but I want them to respect the fact that it doesn't work for me. And I just don't want to see that turn into a bigger issue than it has to be. Okay, I hope I really answered that properly, but yeah, try to be good to each other. And by the way, visit exoticenvy.com. I don't even have a way to work that into this, but